Hi, I'm Nathan Oakley, and this is video log number 37. Tonight we will discuss the occult, spells, magic, and this is actually just a bathrobe. I mean, it's not really a powerful, all-seeing being that you're talking to, it's just me. But that's part of the fun of spells and occult symbolism and rituals. They create the idea that we have all-powerful authorities that are taking part in black magic, and this idea of spells is often the go-to for people when we have no idea what the answer is to a question. So I've just become a subscriber to, I think his name's Darryl Fox. I saw an interview he did with Patricia Steele, and Patricia Steele's brilliant at getting sort of the crucial information out of people and sort of leading them down the path of talking about what they actually know. But even when she's got people who are very intelligent people, they will still find explanations in, if you like, the occult or black magic or rituals or spells. Now, in another video log, I did my damnedest to explain that there are spells, but they're not the way the media spins them. So if we take what I'm wearing, it's you know, the dark Sith, whatever it is that I've been bought for a Christmas present, just a night robe. But in the movies, you've created an image in your mind of these people having mystical powers and being able to have lightning come out of their fingers and change matter at will. So you've got this idea of mysticism from the movies and from TV and from fantasy and from science fiction. So when you're presented with something like Bohemian Grove and you see the elites taking part in rituals, it conjures an image that they are creating spells and magic. And the reality is that there are no spells and magic. There is no occult power that's controlling our minds. It's just men creating spells. And spells are literally what they sound like. They are spells and spelling, words and their meanings. And I did a little piece when I was running out the door after another video log, and someone, a commenter, Woozy Rocket Man, he deserves another credit for it. But basically he gave me a fantastic spell, or a fantastic example of how a spell works. It's not black magic, it's not voodoo, you know, don't give the people who've created these things with the dictionary and so on, more power than they actually have. All they're doing is creating a string of words that has a powerful influence over what you think about the words that are being said. So if we take satellites like the Woozy Rocket Man example, if you call them geostationary, geo, geography, stationary, not moving, it creates a very bad image. It's not a good spell. But if you call them geosynchronous, it immediately creates images of globes. So when you're explaining a geosynchronous satellite, people will automatically hear part of the information that the people who create these spells want them to hear. And that's how spells work. So to say we are under a spell in the sense that the people who have occult clothing and are, you know, even through the alternative media, being exposed to us by people like Alex Jones as like the powers in Star Wars, it doesn't mean they are. That's just, again, a reinforced idea that we are given through the media to associate the powers who are creating spells with real magic. And there's no such thing. There isn't real magic. Everything has an explanation. And while I'll get hammered in the comments by, I don't know, either Christians or people believing we live in a bloody matrix, it's a fact. When you see magic as we know it, it's been created by men, it's been designed to deceive, and there are hundreds of layers in the spells that we are exposed to. They're not a simple magic trick. They're not a hex. By saying something at an occult gathering, that whole idea is to create a persona of power and an image of mysticism. It doesn't mean there is one. It just means that people have understood for a long time, since Sigmund Freud and certainly his nephew, you know, the fathers of propaganda, have taught people how to exploit the way men tick. Reinforcement, you know, exploiting cognitive dissonance. You know, these psychopaths know how to exploit us. And while I've touched on my humble opinion that, you know, psychopaths are at the top of the tree, and a lot of globe heads also feel the same, even if they're still prepared to fight like hell to protect the globe when they're exposing their other conspiracies, it's it's a simple fact that we have been deceived by spells, but not the kind of spells the media thinks they are. Images are much more powerful than people think. Seeing somebody in an occult article of clothing or wearing an occult ring when you're subliminally exposed to the mystical power of the occult gives you the impression that these Freemasons on space shuttles have mystical powers because they wear a golden ring. You know, the children's examples and even the adult examples of rings of power goes on and on and on. So it's no, you know, the multi-level deception is so much more complicated. You just have to pick it apart rather than explaining it away the way they want you to explain it away, which is by saying, oh, there's a great spell, they create hexes at these meetings, these Freemasons. They don't. They do because of what they are actually doing, and we can see it and we can hear it and we can understand language. That's all we need to do. We don't need to look at some mystical power and decide that if we knew how their magic worked. We do. We know how to talk, we know how to look. That's all we really need. I've been Nathan Oakley. I'll see you in the next video.